Hello everyone, I'm Siddharth from Digit.in and today I have with me the Redmi Note 10T, which is the first 5G phone from Xiaomi in its Redmi Note lineup. It is also the fifth phone in the Note 10 series after the Redmi Note 10, the Note 10s, Note 10 Pro and the Note 10 Pro Max. Xiaomi is clearly diversifying its Note range with multiple phones available at a difference of Rs 1000 to 2000, and it can't be blamed since the Redmi Note phones sell like hotcakes every year. The Redmi Note 10 lineup was missing a 5G phone since all the other phones in the range support 4G only. And while there is still some time left for 5G networks to go live in India, phone makers have been pushing 5G as a feature for the future. The Redmi Note 10T is priced starting at Rs 14,499 in India, where you get 4GB RAM and 64GB storage. There is a 6GB, 128GB variant as well, which is priced at Rs 16,499. The highlighting feature of this phone is that it comes with 5G support, courtesy of the MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor, and as such, it goes up against the likes of the Realme 8 5G. We tested the Redmi Note 10T to check how it performs in day-to-day life, and here's what we found out. So the Redmi Note 10T is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor, which has become quite common with affordable 5G phones. Realme uses it for the Realme 8 and Narzo 30, while Oppo and Vivo both have phones powered by the Dimensity 700 processor. This chip has an octa-core CPU that is capable of running at up to 2.2 GHz and is paired with up to 6GB LPDDR4X RAM and up to 128GB UFS 2.2 storage options to choose from. It runs the latest version of MIUI 12, which is based on Android 11. When it comes to synthetic benchmark tests, the Redmi Note 10T scored 2,47,300 points from Antutu, which is lesser than the scores of both the Realme 8 and Narzo 30. We ran Geekbench 5 on Note 10T and it scored 556 points in single-core tests and 1,616 points in multi-core tests. Here again, the Realme 8 and the Narzo 30 led with significantly higher scores. Similarly, it scores 7,988 points in PC Mark tests and 1,098 points in 3D Mark Wildlife test. The GFX Bench app tests the graphic performance of the phone, where the scores of the Note 10T was at par with the Realme 8 and Narzo 30. In day-to-day use, this phone performs well as it is able to handle multiple apps, browsing, gaming, and more without any issues. Be it apps like Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, the phone offered a smooth experience with fast app load times and minimal lags in our time with it. Even while playing Battlegrounds Mobile India and Call of Duty Mobile, we faced minimal lags or frame drops that would otherwise spoil the whole experience. In COD Mobile, the game ran at medium graphic quality with high frame rate, while in BGMI, it can run at HD graphics and high frame rates. We recorded the graphics performance of the Redmi Note 10T using Geekbench metrics, and here's what we found out. The phone ran COD Mobile at 58 to 60 FPS with a stability of 80%, which is a decent result. In the case of BGMI, the Note 10T was able to run it at 30 FPS with 97% stability, which is really good. When playing on the Note 10T, I did not feel any lags or slow frame rates, which means that a casual gamer will be more than happy with the performance on offer. That being said, we will advise anyone looking to buy this phone to go for the 6GB RAM variant, as it will offer much more sustained performance in the long run. You also get 128GB storage with that version, so you can rest be assured of not going out of storage anytime soon. This phone has a 5000 mAh battery just like the other phones in the Redmi Note 10 range. However, the Redmi Note 10T only supports 18W fast charging instead of 33W as on the other phones. Now, this is a straight up downgrade in my opinion, and Xiaomi should have ideally provided 33W fast charging support. The Redmi Note 10T is very much capable of giving you a day's worth of usage on a single charge and then some. We played COD Mobile, BGMI, Asphalt and more such games in our use, which also included browsing, checking social media feeds, watching videos on YouTube and more. The phone was able to last for a day on heavy use, but if you don't play games or watch videos on your phone often, then you will easily be able to get more than a day's worth of battery life from this phone. The Redmi Note 10T took over 2 hours and 47 minutes to fully charge from 0 to 100% using the charger provided in the box, which is pretty slow going by today's standards. Being a budget phone, the Note 10T has a plastic build with Gorilla Glass 3 on the screen. It follows the standard Note 10 series design language and is built to take a beating or two. You can apply the protective cover that is provided in the box and it will further add protection to the phone. This phone is available in 4 colors: chromium white, graphite black, metallic blue, and finally mint green, which is what we have here. It is also P2I certified, making it splash proof. The ports on the phone are corrosion proof and have rubberized seals as well. There is a 3.5mm audio jack and an IR blaster, which has now become synonymous with Xiaomi phones in general and lets you control a range of appliances and electronics. This phone is comfortable to hold and use with one hand, and the side fingerprint reader is perfect to unlock the phone quickly. Other than that, like I said, it is a standard Redmi build, which means that it's not too light, neither too heavy, has smooth corners, and seems premium on first look. Now this Redmi Note 10T is quite different from all the other Note 10 series phones, as it is the only phone in the lineup that does not have an AMOLED display. Instead, we get a 6.5-inch LCD screen that has a full HD resolution and supports up to 90Hz refresh rate. It has also got a punch hole cutout for the selfie camera up front. With a 90Hz refresh rate, everything looks more smooth and seamless as you wander through the phone, scrolling across apps and even switching between apps. As for the display quality, it is a decent screen that you can watch videos on, but nothing extraordinary. There is a blue tint across the screen, but that is something we have nearly seen on most phones in this budget, but will be unnoticeable to most users. The phone lets you customize the color scheme according to your preference, so you can make it warm or cool based on how it feels to your eyes. Overall, it is a decent display for the price, but nothing like an AMOLED display, though it supports up to 90Hz refresh rate, which comes in handy when playing games. The Redmi Note 10T has a basic set of camera sensors. There is a 48-megapixel primary camera with an f1.8 aperture, 2-megapixel macro camera, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It can record in 1080p at 30 fps, and on the front, we get an 8-megapixel selfie camera. The primary camera on the Note 10T is not the same as the Redmi Note 10, as many would expect. This one uses an OmniVision sensor, while the Note 10 uses a Sony IMX582 sensor. Also missing is the ultra-wide camera, which would have led some versatility to the otherwise bleak set of cameras that we have got on the Redmi Note 10T. The cameras on this phone perform well in daylight or in well-lit conditions, but apart from that, there is not much to like about the cameras. It can capture some really bright pictures with natural colors, but struggles to retain details as you move the focus away from the center. Sometimes it also bumps up the highlight way more than it is required for the object in focus. Overall, the primary camera does a fairly decent job, at least in daytime. There is a dedicated 48-megapixel mode that takes high-resolution images with better details and warm tones. The 2-megapixel depth sensor helps when shooting in portrait mode and creates pictures with shallow depth of field. The camera is able to detect the edges of the object in focus, but the area around the edges is not as sharp, losing out on details. As for the 2-megapixel macro camera, it is a fixed focus sensor that is just there to make up the numbers. Taking a macro shot is quite the hassle, as the camera refuses to lock down the focus and misses out on taking a detailed shot. The camera app is smooth, fast, and easy to use. There is little to no lag between when you press the shutter button and the picture gets processed, and you get tons of different modes to play around with. The cameras on the Note 10T remain the weakest feature of this phone, and if you're considering buying it, don't expect too much from the cameras on this one, as it has a very basic setup and works decently only in daylight. The Redmi Note 10T is a good performer at its asking price. It's got a decent display and is built to last if used with care. However, there are some shortcomings like the underperforming camera stack, single speaker, and only 18-watt fast charging support. It's clear that Xiaomi has cut some costs to make the phone 5G ready, but do the benefits outweigh the disadvantages? Well, somewhat. You still get a phone that is a solid daily driver as you manage calls, messages, shift between multiple apps, and play some casual rounds of COD Mobile or BGMI. It's got a great battery life that will last you a day and then some. And if 5G networks go live anytime soon, this phone will be ready for it. So that was our review of the Redmi Note 10T. Do let us know if you have any questions regarding this phone, and we will try our best and answer your queries. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching.